It's lovely to be back. How are you guys doing today? How's life? And my dearest Nemo, I made this for you. Thau embossed Silverwood wand. And don't get me wrong, it has taken us ages and a ton of stuff to get here. If you guys remember, we started with an iron-capped Greatwood wand, which is pretty garbage. We upgraded that to gold. Then we made our first iron-capped Greatwood scepter with a capacity of 75. We upgraded that to gold, and finally somebody solved the puzzle for me. Iron-capped transmutative scepter, capacity of 112. I don't feel lonely. Really? You give me a quest? Okay. Anyways, I upgraded that into gold-banded transmutative scepter. You know, it gives you a better discount. Then obviously we could afford to make something called iron-capped Silverwood scepter. This one has a capacity of 150. And finally, gold-banded Silverwood scepter. Again, a capacity of 150, but with a better discount. And with that, we could craft the Thau embossed Silverwood wand. This one is great because it has a capacity of 100. It gives you 26% discount, not just because of the wand, also because of my clothes. And because of the caps, it charges extremely fast. You might also be asking yourself if your scepter can hold 150 and your wand can only hold 100, why the hell not use the scepter? Scepters cannot accept focuses. That's the problem. Otherwise it's great for crafting. But no, that's not it. You need some tricks. You can't directly make the Silverwood wand without extra discounts. For example, my armor is going to give me 15%, but that's not enough. You need an extra 3%. Basically what I did is that I checked the NEI for discounts and well, the only thing which would give me enough was the nano boots of the traveler. 4%. I mean, there were other things as well, but I think they were more expensive. So yes, we do have nano boots of the traveler. And it's actually much faster than the normal boots of the traveler, but it has a giant flaw. When you jump, it looks weird. You jump way high. I don't like that. But I guess for normal traveling purposes, this is quite fun. Oops. Yeah, you see what I'm talking about? You can't really aim. Yeah, I use my normal boots. It's much better. Considering the fact that I got a new wand, I thought maybe we should also have a node in the garden. It's not really a great node and I really need to work on the Perdicchio because I use a lot of Perdicchio to teleport around. And since I was looking for a bright node so that it would regenerate faster, this was air and I couldn't really pick and choose. But it's fine. We're going to feed him. Feeding is good. Did you just give me another creeper? Jerk. If you are very observant, you might also notice that this is year 6, day 95. It's been quite a while since the last episode. And no, I have not been focused on the wand, I have been busy. Organization. You know, different gases, different fluids. And then I realized I have circuit parts all over the place. So I organized them. Most of them are kind of full, a bit. This one is never going to get full, obviously. We also have an overflow chest for things that are almost full. And don't you worry, I'm actually making way more. Also, the new circuit lines seem to be pretty standard, you just need the same material. Except for the diodes, but I had them so it has a chest. Another thing is that last episode, if you guys remember, we made a miner. And I did mention I'm not sure if it's going to be high voltage or extreme voltage, and yeah, it does work with high voltage, but I'm using an EV hatch. Because with high voltage it was working at a very garbage speed, and I'm using a battery buffer with some Lapotron crystals. I mean, it went through the entire power, but we got a ton of ore, and I did remove most of them. Also, that was just for testing purposes, I didn't need the ores. All of that being said, what is the plan for today? Good question. Today is going to be the day of improvements, because I think I have finally learned how to play this game. Yeah, it's been a while. The first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to restart this turbine, because I need to recharge the batteries and we need to operate the blast furnaces. You're asking why? I have made some HSSG dust. We're going to upgrade the coils, that's it. And since we can't really run the blast furnaces for a long time, we're just going to give you 16 to you, and hope for the best for our batteries. Maybe you should also run, because I'm draining the batteries. Yeah, I have already been doing this once, so we have 16 hot ingots. And another 16 over here. And if you guys remember, a few episodes ago we made a stack of them. I already cooked the extra 60 and we have almost one stack. But we have 2 blast furnaces, so we're going to need, I don't know, 4 stacks of dust? Yeah, that means we're going to need half a stack of tungsten steel. Because you know, we need 1 ingot per coil. Another very important thing is that this recipe is insane voltage, so this is something that we can't afford. But when we were making the miner, we did manage to cheat a bit and use some battery boxes. I'm going to use the same trick. Each coil is 4.6 million EU, we have 40 million, so every, I don't know, 7 or 8, just to be safe, we have to change the batteries. That's what I think. Let's see if it works. Oh, and by the way, now that we're running the blast furnaces at IV, titanium takes 5 seconds. It's awesome. I say we run it, but we can maybe run it for like 10 minutes, then we're out of power. But don't you worry, that will be fixed very soon. Give me my tungsten steel, thank you. So, tungsten steel goes in, mica, and some wires. It does work. Let me get the coils. I'll be right back. That should be 16 coils, meaning that we can upgrade one of the furnaces. The reason I'm doing this is that apparently it's going to give you a discount on the amount of power it's going to consume. So why the hell not? Question is it any faster? 45 seconds. Yeah, it's the same. I guess it's just a discount on power, but we're not doing great. Oh, we get an IV loot bag. Nice. Circuits? Apple pie. I really need to start making some circuits. I'll do that. I have just finished making half a stack of elite nano processors. These are essentially the mainframes, but cheaper. And I just wanted to show you something. Do you remember these chests? I showed it to you at the start of the episode, and now look. We're doing totally garbage. So yeah, they're cheaper, but not by much. So we have 4 mainframes, 32 of them, that brings up our total to 36 IV circuits. That's not that bad. We also have 52 workstations, I can upgrade them to IV as well. Okay, I guess that's not the worst. The worst part is that I cannot operate the blast furnaces for a very long time and, well, I just had to wait for ages. You know, for batteries to recharge. We're going to literally fix it after I have changed the coils. Oh, and by the way, I never explained why the hell am I making those circuits. The reason for that is I have been preparing some material in order to make a few more centrifuges. The multi-block version. You know, those beautiful things. Also, I had no idea, but there is an industrial material press, which is essentially a multi-block bending machine. That's something that I really want. But centrifuges are going to take some priority. Wait a minute. It seems that the optimal gas flow is not the optimal gas flow. You know, it tells me that optimal gas flow is 7 liters per tick, and I just thought to myself, let us increase it to 21 millibuckets per tick. And now this stupid thing is making me 6,350 EU per tick. 3 times improvement. So if I increase you as well to, I don't know, 5 millibuckets per tick, you're making me 3,410. So what if it's 7? 4,000 EU. Yeah, now it's making me 4,000. Okay, I think I have figured it out, but I'm not exactly sure. First off, these guys, instead of making us 2,000 EU per tick, are making us 6,335. And that's a good number. So technically speaking, we don't really have a power issue, and we never had a power issue. It's just that the turbines were configured wrong. I have also checked the wiki again, and it says that find the fuel value of the fuel that you're going to use inside the turbine. We're using benzene, so it's 360,000 EU per bucket. Now we need to find it per millibucket, and therefore it's going to be 360 per millibucket, correct? Now we have to divide 3780, which is energy from optimal gas flow, by 360. The result is going to be 10.5, but I had to set it up to 20. If you put it at 10.5, it's just going to produce 4000 EU, and that's it. So I still don't really know how it's supposed to work, but I think I did manage to find an optimal flow, because this guy is not supposed to make more than 5500 EU, and we're generating 6,300. The blast furnaces are running, and I was checking the batteries. None of them are draining, so we're actually generating more power than the blast furnace is consuming. I don't really care if that is the optimal flow or not, or if it's fuel efficient or not. That's what I wanted. For my stupid blast furnaces to work at insane voltage. That's it. You have 11. Okay, not much more. One thing that I forgot to mention is that we are not going to go with a manual in turbine because it is going to exceed the amount of energy that my dynamo hatch can handle. And there's going to be an explosion. We don't want that. Anyways, this should be the last coil blocks. And after that, we're going to move on to something much more important. You go in before you burn me. So we're going to make something called air intake valve. What does it do? It draws in air from the surrounding environment. 1 bucket of air every 4 ticks. That's great. Although I do admit it's not very cheap, and we already have everything. Perfection. So if I place you down, you don't need any power. Great. That was I was worried about. So let us change the coils. I'll make 2 centrifuges, and I'll be right back. I think I have already pre-crafted everything, we were just missing the circuits, right? No. The centrifuge? Yes. Centrifuges are literally the worst because they require like 4 circuits. So, 2 centrifuge controllers, and we just need the blocks. You see? Preparation pays off. I don't really know how many we need. 30? Maybe? Now that we have the centrifuges, our first order of business is to dismantle our nitrogen and oxygen production, as well as methane and hydrogen. That's why we have the centrifuge, we don't need the single block ones. Also, at the time that I set this thing up, I was very short on fuel. Now we have no shortage. You see, this is the amount of benzene that we have, and this is how fast we are producing it, so it's good. Also, you go back in, we don't need you for the moment. And you. Okay, I have replaced all of our single block centrifuges with a multi-block one. We're producing nitrogen and oxygen, as well as hydrogen. Well, technically we're producing methane, but we're converting it into hydrogen. It's not great because the tank is always empty. Another tank which is always empty is oxygen, and I was thinking, should we bump this centrifuge to EV? Right now it's every 17 seconds, and if we bump it up by 1 voltage tier, it's gonna be half the time. Actually processes 6 items per voltage tier, so it's gonna be double the speed and double the output. Ew. I don't really know, let me try that, because I also need oxygen and I'm lazy to automate it. Automating it independently, obviously. HV energy hatch. I should really have a bunch of turbines laying around. It's just that I don't know in which chest. We take you. Easier. The thing is, if you increase the voltage by a certain amount, then you need to increase the input, and the output is not gonna keep up. It's gonna cause so many complications. But it's now every 8 seconds. Okay, you stopped. Why? Oh, I have to increase the size of the pipes. We're getting too much nitrogen. You see? This is why you should never upgrade that much. Probably do not need to go this crazy, but those pipes were available and redundant. I'm not a huge fan of the fuel consumption, that is a thing. It's okay, we're going to leave it on for a while and see how it goes. But we also need to clean up the place before we move on to our next project, and I really want to try something. I love the anti-blocks, but whenever you cut them using the architect's workbench, they're going to lose their texture. So for example, this is an anti-block, and if I cut it, it's gonna look like that. So instead, let us try something, diamonds. I don't know if you can convert it into diamonds. Yes, you can. Good. We're going to craft a bunch of semi-stable nuggets. You are free to call me a chicken, but if I make the actual one, they always explode. And just out of curiosity, let us make these blocks. They're from extra utilities. The only issue is that I didn't want the red one. So if I cut it... Oh, I can't cut it. What? In any shape or form? Well, we do have carpenter's block, maybe that will work. Why? That's a shame. And it's a pain to break. Yeah, it doesn't work, I'm sorry. I'm still breaking it. Okay, it has been a while and I did manage to clean it up as best as I can. There are no details, nothing specific, I just wanted it to be clean so that I don't fall into holes. I did even fix the wall on this side, and yes, you can see some of the pipes that you shouldn't see, but as I said, details for later on. We have so many stupid little things to do that I think this can wait for a while. Oh, it's turning into nighttime. Nice. You might notice I'm carrying a soul vial. That's because I'm looking for a very specific mob. There's actually a creeper, which as a rare drop, it's going to drop TNT. With the amount of toluene that I'm getting as a byproduct of distilling wood tar, I don't think we're going to have a problem, but you know, mobs are fun. Also, we should be very careful not to shoot the spiders. Are you the one? No, you're not the one. You're the one. Hello. We go. Baby creepers. They're the worst. Also, I'm not exactly sure if it's going to work and it's going to drop TNT because as you guys remember, mob drops are a bit weird. However, this was a target of opportunity. This is something that we're going to do a bit later on. For the moment, I want to focus on something else. I was trying to expand my storage, and do you see that cobblestone over there? That is our storage system. I was digging, I fell into the ore washer. So that gave me a very small idea. I thought instead of, why are there bats? Well, that gave me an idea. Whenever I'm doing some ore processing, you end up with a ton of dust. So before, I used to just carry them in my inventory, take them to the inventory panel. But these machines are incredibly fast that I have to make this trip like 200 times and it doesn't make sense anymore. So I thought maybe we should have a filtering system that from the output chest of these multi-block machines, we're going to separate the purified dusts and import them directly into our system. And if you guys remember, there is a type filter from GregTech. I tried to make it work without power, it didn't work. I don't know why. I mean, this is why we have a turbine for it. And also, if you were observant at the start of the episode, you might have noticed I made stacks and stacks of item conduits. This is why. So if we set you to dust refined, you should be able to take in all the ore dusts. I think I'm going to need another one for normal dust like stone dust, coal dust, etc. And yes, we have new drawers everywhere, and that's because our system is never ever going to handle that much dust. Actually, let us add the second filter right now, because later on, after the cabling, it's going to be difficult. Ouch, ouch. That's steam. Oh, this is why we get bats. I keep breaking torches. So again, one of you is going to be for refined dust, and the other one just for dust. Let us also try and find our inventory panel. Yes, good. We're connected, and we're not covering the muffler hatch. Where's my shovel? Oh, in the backpack. I found my old shovel. It was in the office. Don't know why. So if we set the conduits on insert on the filters, do we get anything? No. You have to be on extract. So are you extracting? Yes, yes. Well, so far so good. The machines are working, nothing is clogged up. It's a very small little stupid improvement, but it will save a ton of time. We just cover it with some facades and we're good to go. Also, I kind of noticed, why the hell do we get bats? It's so dark. With the filtering system done, there is one more thing that I want to do before we wrap up today's episode. But before that, since tungsten is going to take ages to prepare, I want to make a fresh batch of tungsten. Hence, I'm making hydrochloric acid. That's it? I thought it's going to be much more, isn't it a 1-to-1 ratio? Okay, maybe that was it. Anyways, I have been processing tons of scheelite, and let me try to get some tungsten. One problem that I have is that these large aluminium fluid cells are not great. They carry like 32 buckets of fluid, each one of them. It's not bad, but I need more. The tungsten one is great because it carries 500,000 millibuckets, but it needs 8 tungsten. And well, I don't really have that much tungsten, but what I do have is titanium. Yeah, I have 870 ingots. Let's make a stack of those. Much better. Also, it takes 5 seconds in the blast furnace, so I don't really care. Well, now we have 1.5 stacks of the new cells. I did not plan it to be 1.5 stacks, but it's nice that we have a decent number. That came at a huge cost. We have 230 titanium ingots left. It's fine, the blast furnaces are amazing, we should be able to catch up. But what we are going to do is that we're going to pay a very small visit to the nether. Let us get a bedrockium barrel. It's not a barrel, it's a drum. Some pearls. Actually, let's get the second drum as well. I have changed the location of our endothermic pump and we're getting more lava. Yes, good, good. And we also have another bedrockium barrel with... oh, it burns you. Anyways, it has 22,000 buckets of lava and that's good enough for me. A few episodes ago, if you guys remember, we made something called the thermal boiler, correct? It didn't really work for making steam, but it has a byproduct. And suddenly that stupid byproduct has become incredibly important for me. I'm missing a block. Why? I think it's because I'm missing one input hatch. But we do only need one input hatch. If we provide this guy with a lava filter, and give it some lava, perform some cheaty maintenance, smack it with a mallet. No, you should be on import. Yes. Now it's charging up, good. This guy is going to provide us with a very important resource. Tantalum. For making different components for circuits, I'm always going to need some tantalum. Here is the SMD resistor, SMD transistor, and obviously the capacitor. Except for the diode, but we don't need diodes that much. I mean, you can get these kind of diodes with tantalum, but not the ones that we need. The chances for getting tantalum are not great, but over time it should build up. The issue with tantalum is that it's incredibly difficult to smelt. Because first you have to get the stupid dust, and then it takes 2 minutes. And then you have to cool it down for half a minute. In return, this guy is just gonna give us nuggets, we have to convert the nuggets into ingots. And it's kind of free. Also, as a byproduct, I'm getting obsidian and tungstate. I don't really care about gold or copper. So don't get me wrong, this is not a great source for tantalum, but when I want to make circuits, for example for today, I had to spend 1 hour or 2 hours just for tantalum. At least with this setup, I don't really have to do that. You see, we already have 28 nuggets. 29. And I have a feeling that this drum is going to last for 5 or 6 hours. And one final thing that we're going to do is that I have brought our miner to the nether. I have no idea what it's going to mine, but from what I understand, it's going to harvest 9 veins. Yeah, apparently the first ore is limonite. Also, this is 19,000 buckets of drilling fluid. Look how fast it's eating that. It's crazy. Oh, we should also put you, it's only 1.5 hours. Okay. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's also a good time to wrap up the episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one, bye bye.